There's a new 2011 on the market. It's a 5-inch gun, aluminum grip module, no ports in the barrel, optics ready. And it comes from Kimber. And this is the new 2K 2011. All right, you guys, so this is the new Kimber 2K 2011 that released right at SHOT Show. There are a couple different models we'll talk about on this pistol. Today we're going to talk about what this model comes with, and this is the OR Optics Ready pistol. And we'll talk about the OI and the target as well. This is a pretty cool gun because if you did not know and you're not a Kimber fan, which I'm hoping you guys are, after you see how well this gun shoots and functions, I'm hoping that'll change your mind. In regards to holsters support, we do have options for this gun in Kydex and in Safariland holsters. We do have a 5-inch Safariland holster that will fit the target model, that will fit the optics ready model, but not the target model and not the optics included model, and I'll explain that why later. But you can find Safariland holster mods, holster wraps, holster accessories for any of your 5-inch 2011 options on our website at rdrgear.com. This is the new Kimber 2K 2011. So if you did not know much about the history on Kimber, I'm going to talk to you about that. And of course, we're going to talk about a lot of the specs and what the gun comes with. And you'll see some B-roll today of how well it shoots. If you guys did not know, Kimber started out their life making single-stack 1911 pistols. They made Commanders, 5-inch guns, some smaller guns, etc., and have gone through the years. Back in the day, 1998 was when I first saw my first Kimber pistol. I was working in the gun shop. And when you got that gun in the shop, it was like the best option of the over-the-counter 1911 pistol you could buy. Front strap triggering, slide to frame fit, they were the tits. There wasn't really anything you could get that was better without having your gun made by a pistol smith. Fast forward throughout the years, Kimber had its ups and downs, and now they're back to trying to rebuild that brand. And I say that not to be a shield because Kimber did send this to me, right? They sent them to a lot of people. When I met with the marketing team back in 2023 at SHOT Show, early 2024, meeting Edgar, the marketing manager, there was a different tone, a different agenda for Kimber to rebuild what they knew was broken within their brand. And I had a good connection with that person because I felt that it really was a conscious effort to rebuild this brand and try to build more confidence within the consumers. We did content on the KDS-9, the Rapide, and those products in the Mako, and all those guns, you can see there's some differences in the quality control and the future of Kimber, and that's how we come to the 2K11. I heard about this pistol back in November, right before SHOT Show launched, and when we saw it at SHOT Show, the pistols were awesome. Very well done. A lot of the features that are on these pistols we'll talk about today are very consumer driven, because towards the end of this video, I'll talk to you guys about the features you get in the gun and the price point. Damn it, pause. Crispy, I just realized my fucking light lost a fucking switch today. Before you jump in the comments and tell me the switch was missing off the light, I just realized that. I don't know when it came off, but you have to realize I've had these, I have about a dozen of these X300s and they're all pretty old, but yeah, that's a bummer. So that's the second one's down. The one that rattled off in the last couple videos, that one, the lens finally broke. So that one's going back under warranty, but we'll take this off for now. So features of the 2K11. As I mentioned earlier, this is the optics ready model. It comes in the black finish, the PVD flats, super clean. But let's talk about the grip, and we'll kind of work our way up to slide, and then we'll talk about some differences between slides of this model and the other two pistols. So this is a super cool feature because it is an aluminum grip. It's got a super clean fitment in the hand. This undercut right here is probably one of the best features of an aluminum grip model that I have had the pleasure of shooting in a long time. This fits better than any of my polymer grip modules, but it is an undercut. The texture is built in, and with how difficult it is to add texture to an aluminum grip module, this is pretty well done. It's just enough to where I feel I can grip it and it not have good surface placement for the support hand, but also not to the point where it's too aggressive, where it's leaving, marks on the skin. The magwell, it does not come with an external magwell like the Target model does and the optics included model, but this internal grip module is very well blended. It is aluminum, so one of the downsides to this is if you cross insert a magazine or stick one too hard, it will stay stuck in the gun, and it is so. But if you are looking what you're doing, it's going to funnel just fine. But again, you can get some hiccups in regards to it sticking because of the aluminum in there. So not a big deal, but it's just something you should be aware of. With this undercut right here, right, it puts you in a very good position for your grip because you can see the middle finger on that deep undercut. It just really fits good in the hand. Mag release is nothing to write home about. Slide stop, nothing either. Light rail, of course, we had the extra 100 on there earlier, but short 3/4 length rail, and kind of really that's all that you talk about on the grip side of it. Let's talk about safeties. That's the one area where this pistol lacks. The safeties work very well as far as texture wise go, but the safety blending, I'm gonna grab a gun real quick. So we got Christian's Rock Island Armory full rail here, right? So I don't know who he had engraved that alchemy on there, but this is a Rock Island full rail. And if you just kidding, you guys. But when I talk about blending, when you look at these two right here, right, my complaint on the Kimber is this 3/4 blend right here in the safety. When this does not get blended all the way up, you can kind of see how, I don't know if I can get my finger in there, it catches, right? And with my callus on my thumb, when I grip this pistol, it gets me right in that callus because this safety does not get blended all the way. So the overhang right here just doesn't do well on there. With how clean the rest of this gun is, I would love that little detail to be fixed. And when I talk about being fixed, this is what it should look like. You can see how clean this is. So when the safety is up or safety is down, it's fully clean and blended on the alchemy gun, and it doesn't have any overhang that you can get caught on. So when it's in the hand, no matter how hard I squeeze, I don't get bit by that safety. I'll fix that on this gun. I'll just take this down and I'll Dremel this down and clean it up and get a new one or have another one ordered, and I'll blend it myself. But that is something I've done on all my guns in the past. It's something that it's just an area that gets overlooked, and I'm not for sure if that's the design of the part or what that is, but I would love that just to have a cleaner blend all the way through up towards the rear of the slide. It is only a problem on the right side, not the left side. The left side, of course, being shorter. Trigger. Trigger is actually really good in this gun. It's around 2.5, just barely under 3 pounds. The gun shoots super fast and super soft. The one thing I would like on the trigger is the shoe to be shorter. It's a little bit long, so if I could get it maybe where this triangle is, if they just cut that down and made it a little bit shorter, that would make me happy. Front face is a little slick, but that's being nitpicky. I don't think it needs to be textured, but again, some people like that. It is what it is. But the trigger, super clean. Reset is awesome as well. You can see how clean that slide works. Very well done. We'll talk about that. So let's talk about the slide. The slide is one of the sexier things on this gun. Granted, the fingerprints are all over it right now, but these PVD flats just look so good when you hit them with the light, right? And the Kimber 2K11 checkering, it reminds me of the old LAPD SIS guns back in the day. It's just a very clean aesthetic look to it. And then let's talk about this front side real quick. And this is where I was talking earlier about the Target model and the optics included model. Both the Target model and the optics included model are this kind of rose gold PVD finish. Both guns have cocking serrations on them, but they also have lightning ports within those cocking serrations. So up here on this tri-cut section, these are open. So when I was looking at that, I'm like, man, you know, I wonder if that's gonna work in a Safari duty holster, because that's something that happened with the P320 DH3 gun from Daniel Horner with SIG in that X5 design. It looks like an X5, but those lightning cuts in the slide prevent it from working in a duty holster. So I talked to my buddy Roger, QVO Tactical. Roger has the optics included model that comes with an SRO, and he had somebody else had asked him about that same thing, and he explained that to me where it just wasn't going to work. So when I contacted Kimber and asked him to switch it to the optics ready, the blacked out version here, so that way I can fit it with a Safari duty holster. I hope Kimber gets back to the LE roots, because right now on the market, there isn't a 5-inch 2011 duty gun that is not compensated. So Staccato doesn't have a 5-inch gun that's a standard length government 5-inch slide. This gun comes close, and I say it's close, it's because of the sights. So if you notice, that's a standard just high-vis front sight, and once you put the optics plate on there, the optics plate has a rear iron delete. So when they made these three pistols, that's an area where I felt I think they missed the mark a little bit on that, because you're basically making three of the same gun. One is an optics included, one is basically a adjustable rear sight, and one is a optics ready gun, but they're all the same other than the color, right? And then other than color, and of course the irons. So I was hoping that when this came, it wouldn't be that. It would be something that was more duty rated and duty ready. But if they make this version of this pistol, which I'm going to assume they're going to come to the LE market eventually, because they have to see the same thing that I'm seeing in regards to the 5-inch gun. That this will come back at some time. It will be a blacked out model. It will have the correct iron sights to be a duty rated weapon. And of course, maybe it might come in a commander length or some kind of 4.4, 4.6. And Kimber, of course, following the same suit as Staccato and Springfield, maybe a 3.6, a smaller version as we go forward in the new year. But how this gun runs, when you look at the B-roll that Crispy shot today, this gun shoots super accurate, very good trigger, and it just the weight of this gun is very balanced in the hand. There is very little front end weight. Slide to frame fit is clean, and the biggest thing about this gun is when you look at the Kimber 2K11 and what you're getting with this pistol, you're getting the gun. If you were out shopping today, the pistol, a weapon light, X300, and an RMR, and hit me up for a holster, you're in the low threes, complete, ready to roll, right? MSRP in these things are just over 2. And so if you are shopping street, you're probably in the mid to kind of high teens. So if you're looking for a 5-inch gun to shoot USPSA, even maybe IDPA, and a lot of you guys still shoot IDPA, that is something where you guys could really benefit from having a pistol that you can get a ton of different kydex for, a ton of competition options for, and a holster that fits for a Safariland duty holster. Now, on the Safariland duty holster, there is one caveat. This gun has a crowned barrel, right? So it does not have a bull barrel that kind of exceeds a little bit over. I don't know if Crispy's gun does. Yeah, so you'll see how the bushing right here has a little bit of raised height, so that helps with a duty holster. The Kimber has a bushingless barrel and a recessed crown. So the gun does over insert into the holster just a little bit, and it causes a little bit of bounce. if you have a 2K11 and you need a 5-inch duty holster from me, just throw 2K11 in the notes and I'll add a rubber bushing to the holster to help you control that ride height, because the bounce is annoying. It is significant because the gun does over insert due to the crowned barrel. And again, that's just something that was more on the target competition side, not so much on the duty holster side. But that's what I'm here for. I can make those things work. So another great value to this pistol is the number of magazines you get. 3. You get the 117 and the 2 extended 20 rounders. But having the 3 magazines is a huge add-on to this pistol. Today we shot these 3, the factory magazines. We shot, what did we shoot here? We shot one of the T-Sauce mags, and then this was an old Alchemy magazine from my Quantico, and then we shot the 20 rounder Duramags. These things, the Duramags, man, for anybody who's on 2011 ride and you're worried about magazine costs, these Duramags, I'm telling you, are super good option. They work very well. They don't have any issue in regards to over insertion in the gun. They fit flush on the grip. And then of course the Kimber ones, you do have that exposed area here. Some people are gonna think that's ugly, but I did speak to Stan Chen, who makes the mag wells for the Target model and the Target, or the optics included. There are going to be mag wells available on the Kimber website very soon. So I'll probably get a mag well as well, just to have one on here. But again, that's just an option for you guys. But getting 3 magazines with the gun is a huge, huge bonus, because, and especially getting 2 20s and a flush fit, if you had picked up 2 more magazines, having 5, man, you're off the races. You don't really need more than 5. Yeah, 6 to 8 would be nice, but with having 3 flush fit 17s and 2 20s, you can't go wrong with that. I'm very impressed. And again, I know they sent this gun to me, but I have owned Kimber products in the past, and it wasn't a good experience. But I do believe their efforts, working with my contact over there, Joe, I do believe the future of Kimber is bright, because I believe that they're really trying to change past history. And for coming out the gate with a 2K11 model gun, with the first go at it, they crushed it. This thing shoots lights out. And again, you guys, the biggest thing I wanted to show you, the reason why I got this one, is because a lot of you guys are getting into that 2011 duty gun space for the LE side. Of course, this gun probably won't work in the LE due to rules and regulations within your department of having coldness iron sights. But for those of you guys on the tactical training side, the tactical games, USPSA, 2-gun, those running guns you guys are doing out there and looking for a 2011, man, do not sleep on this option. It is a great pistol for the value, and I am very impressed with how well it runs, and I can't wait to shoot this thing more, because today, yeah, you'll see in the B-roll, this thing was lights out. Nothing fancy. We shot at like 15 yards maybe, but just well done. I'm excited to compare this pistol to a couple of different 2011s. Chris and I are going to do some content in the future. We're going to run the Kimber 2K11 and of course my Alchemy custom weaponry against his new big boy pistol, the new Quantico high cap full rail. This is a super sexy gun. This is a new release from them. You guys know Christian does a lot of content with Alchemy in regards to photography and their website stuff. But this is a super clean pistol with the new subdued front checkering, the full rail, and of course the new Alchemy grip module. So my old girl will give the new young buck a run for his money. And then we're going to throw in the Kimber as well to kind of do a roundup amongst the both pistols. But again, you guys, this is a phenomenal gun for the price point. You could get, like I mentioned earlier, gun, light, dot, and a holster for a lot less money than a Staccato. Be well. Take care.